Okay, hello class. Today I'm going to go over the intro to writing a business plan. I will add the PowerPoint right now. Okay, so if we take a look, there's a little video right here. Please look at that on your own, that's fine. Sports marketing and management, the business is huge. So if you're going to create the business, you better have a good business plan to support it. These are some of the people I worked with over the years. I've gotten lucky in my career to have met a lot of top level athletes, but if you can't treat the normal person, how do you expect to treat a premier athlete? So work on your skills. That includes being business savvy as well. So we're going to talk about managing sports as a business. Numbers, you don't know business. So you have to know your numbers of the business. Again, my name is Chip Carroll. I've earned my various degrees as we discussed in the prior presentation. So I look forward to working with you guys to develop your plan. Those are my background. Like I said, we went over that last time. As we talk about a business plan, you're going to have a written report and a PowerPoint. Okay, don't get out of control. I have templates, I have instructions. I'm not asking you guys to do something that I don't think you can handle. It's due week 4, so you have to get started early. SCORE is a resource center here in Fort Myers. Their website address is right there. I've already included the template and a few other things that they've downloaded to, that I pulled off online. But feel free to go to that address and get any additional PDF form that you might want to add to your program. So the purpose of a business plan is to convince investors and lenders to finance your business idea. Like I said, you want to come up with something that's unique, something that's out of the ordinary. It's also used to persuade business partners, key employees to join your company. If you put it on paper, then they know you're serious. And your plan serves as a roadmap to launch your business or even to grow it. Midway through your business, you may want to redo another one, maybe an expansion plan. So reasons to write it is it gives you an opportunity to carefully think through each and every step of starting your business. It provides you a chance to discover any weaknesses in your plan, and it helps you identify opportunities not previously considered. Things do pop up and it's like, wow, why didn't I think of that 3 months ago? Maybe it would have saved you 10 grand or just a lot of time. It allows you the opportunity to consider ways of addressing roadblocks or barriers if and when they arise. So understand they will arise. Those barriers, the hoops that you got to jump over, whether it's some employee issue, a flood, a hurricane, maybe it's governmental expenses that you didn't anticipate, maybe it's a legal issue. So tips for writing your business plan is be open and honest with yourself. Know your limits, know what your capabilities are. Share your idea with others. Go home and start talking, hey, what do you think if I opened a gym that had this? Ask your friends. Ask people you don't know. Gather information and guidance from a mentor. Maybe you're working for somebody right now and they can give you some insight. If I was to do it again, what would I do? Maybe I would add a therapy component, physical therapy component. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I lost my rear end on that. Maybe I didn't set up enough space for vendors to come in and set up a juice bar or food station. Maybe those are the things that make you different than the place down the road. Be clear and concise when you're writing your plan. I'm not looking for 14 pages of information that I have to weed through. I want factual statements. This is what I plan to do. You want to avoid overuse of industry jargon and terms. Remember, this could be a banker who's trying to give you money, but he doesn't understand what you're talking about whatsoever. There's various tips to writing your plan. Think through all the implications. Be realistic. Document your research. I also expect you to add APA format for references, even if it's talking to your boss. You need to reference that discussion. And review for accuracy. You don't want to have spelling errors. That turns people off. They figure if you can't write a paper, how can you run a business? So do well. There's a cover sheet on the thing. I expect a cover sheet, the confidentiality agreement. You can make one up or you don't have to. Table of contents, you need it for a business plan, but I don't need it so much for what we're going to do. But if you're going to have one, you might as well just add it there. The template is there for your use. So there's 10 different items to discuss on a business plan. And the three major ones is number one, the executive summary. You do that last, after you've already gathered all the other information. The marketing plan is going to be very detailed. The operational plan, very detailed. Company description, that's where you get creative. The financial plan, you're going to have to at least summarize some concepts. It may not be down to the penny, but you may say, I need to borrow X number of dollars, which is 30% of what I need in order to get a loan for $500,000. So you need to investigate those things. What would it take right now to get a business loan? The government is actually kicking out a lot of money right now for loans, for startups. So jump online and investigate that and put that in your paper. Make sure you reference that though. So the executive summary, we'll start with that one. It is the most important part. A banker or a business partner may read those first 2 pages and go, not doing it. Or, hey, I like your ideas, very creative, outside the box. Don't get crazy, because if it gets too unrealistic, no one's going to buy it. You must convey your enthusiasm for your idea. Show it in writing why you're excited about this. You may want to talk a lot about where you're going to put it, who you're going to hire, what type. Is it very professional or laid back? How is it different than the guy down the street? So write the executive summary last, after you do your other pieces of it. So the business idea overview is 1 to 2 sentences. It has a description of your products and services, goals of your business, your proposed target market. That's the key, is who do you plan to target? How many of those people live in your geographical area? What location did you decide to put this business, whatever it might be? If there's 3 other fitness centers within a half a mile, I'm not sure if that's the right location, but it may be depending on what you're planning to do. So the financial outlook at the bottom is profitability, is sustainability. How do I plan to survive this? Because business is very expensive. Create a mission statement. Write down your vision. What's my long-term plan? To open up 7 of them, 20 of them? Dr. Kemp down in Naples has longevity. Very creative idea down there, but very expensive because it's medical based. So his health club is based with a physician on staff, nurses on staff, so his costs are very high. So you can expect to pay $150 a month to go there. But you may want to offer a $10 a month and go for high volume. So it really depends what your clientele is. He's in Naples. You may not put it in Naples. You may say, I want to do something out in Lehigh. Well, you better not be charging $150 a month to attend and to be a member. What's the competitive landscape? Who are the competitors within your geographical area? Are people willing to drive a little further to see you? Products and services. So you're going to talk a little bit about what items, what type of equipment, what concepts that you have that are different from anyone else. How do you compare to the competition, attract customers, and project a good profit margin so that you can survive? You're going to do market research. The primary research is what you gather yourself. Secondary market research is information from libraries, Chamber of Commerce. They pull information out of a journal. Make sure you cite that information. Like I say, we're not all experts, so we're going to gather this information from different sources. So we're going to identify the barriers to entry. What startup costs are there? What types of things should I be looking for? Is that equipment too expensive new? Maybe I buy it used. So those are things I'm throwing out I want you to think about. Are there any changes in regulation, technology, new technological advancements? You know, the Apple Watch. What type of things are out there that are pushing people to get healthy? Maybe at your facility you're going to do educational seminars and bring in top-notch speakers to draw in new potential members. So we want to describe your products and services, mainly services, but you may also sell some equipment. Describe your target customers, your key competitors. Those are the key. This is part of your marketing plan. You see how all this comes back and forth several times. What niche? Why are you different? Come up with a promotional budget. Before I start, I anticipate this. You're never going to be right. You're never going to be dead on. Have a pricing strategy. Low cost, large volume. High cost, low volume, like Dr. Cap's Longevity Gym. It's an awesome place. You ought to go check it out. Specialty programs. What are you going to have that's different? Maybe you're going to address special populations, maybe elderly, maybe kids. So you don't want to buy adult equipment if you're looking at something different. Are you going to have daycare? Those are things you got to think about. But it all comes down to location, location, location. Where is it? Do you want low rent, high rent? Is it a safe area? If you're going to be open late at night, do you want people to know that it's well lit? You have security guards. What type of steps are you taking to ensure their safety? Distribution channels. Report any strategic partners, retail space, a strip mall. Freestanding. Do you consider those costs? Build a brand new building. That's going to be very expensive. That's why you typically lease smaller spaces in strip malls and places like that. Hospital partnerships. The odds are they already have theirs. Do you want a subtenant? Do you want a physical therapy center added? As far as establishing a 12-month sales forecast, I'm not looking for you to itemize month by month, but you need to have an idea of your long-term cost. When is your break-even point? You'll see when we go through the class, it's later in the probably week 3, where we start talking about different types of budgets. What is your break-even point? How much money do you need to survive that break-even point? The break-even point may be months down the road. It may be 6 months down the road. You've got to have enough money to pay your staff, and that's part of your financial recruitment efforts. Where do you want to get your money? How much money can you borrow? What do you have to put up? Maybe your parents can help you, a friend. Maybe you hire someone to be a business partner. Maybe they have the money and you have the know-how. I did that once with a home care company. I had no money, but I knew how to run a home health agency. So we started a business. He had the money until he ran out, but he had the money to get it started. I had the know-how. Production method. List equipment needs and why. Don't overspend, but don't underspend. You want people to come in and get a full workout. What is that going to look like? What do you see it as? What do you envision? Maybe you have beautiful colors. Maybe it's just a regular sweatshop gym. What is your approach? So consider safety issues, messaging, quality control. How do you plan to, as part of your operational plan, to control safety issues? The size, location, building restrictions. There's a lot to go over. Now, not everything in here you're going to address in your paper, but you will see the items that you probably should add to your paper in order to get a certain grade. So take a good look at the rubrics as you move forward. The operational plan, we're going to look at personnel. This is day-to-day operations. I need laundry. I need laundry services. Who's going to do that? Are we going to get a washer and dryer and put it in the back, or are we going to send it out? How are we going to maintain our equipment? Is someone else going to do it? We're going to hire somebody, or maybe you train your staff to do it yourself. Those are ideas and decisions that you as the owner of this business have to determine. What's your pay structure going to be? How do you plan to recruit? Maybe it's just you. Word of mouth. So as we work through here, now we're looking at management and organizational issues, biographies. I want at least probably 2, other than you, just ideas about who is in this business. So I am the owner. I have X number of years as a physical therapist. I've run this many businesses. I have $100,000 to invest. My business partner, he has 1.3 million to invest. This is what we're looking for. Maybe you borrow 20 grand from your parents or grandmother. Those are things that you have to think about if you're going to get into a business. You're going to identify gaps in the business. I'm not a CFO. I hate accounting. That's not my thing. So I'm going to hire me an accountant. That person's going to work for me. How much is that going to cost me in a year? Who knows? Could be expensive. But those are the ideas. You want to fill the gaps with people who have those talents. I'm not a power lifter. Maybe I want a power lifter in my gym. What are you looking for? Advisors. You need to consider attorneys, accountants, board of directors. Who are they going to be? And then the organizational chart. That's a big component. What's that going to look like? We'll talk about that later in the class. You may have a vertical alignment. You may have horizontal. Horizontal has more freedom, but it also, you lose some of the information. But people can react quickly on their feet in a horizontal alignment versus a vertical alignment that has to go through the steps and approvals of the person above them. So we'll talk about that in class, what's good, what's bad about each. You determine which one you plan to use. Knowing that the vertical is the most commonly used structure out there. I've worked in several, so each have their own positives and negatives. Startup expenses and capitalization. Capitalization means where do you plan to get the money? So what type of money do you need? How do you plan to get it? Banking, loans, put your house up against it. How do you plan to do this? Then we get into the financial plan. This is where the profit and loss statements are, the projections. I plan to do this, have this many members. My budget says I'm going to add 10 new members a week. That generates X number of dollars at $50 a month for membership. That gives me X number of dollars. I plan to profit that, knowing that my costs on the back end are this employee, that employee, the equipment cost, maybe a loan that I took out, rent. All those things are your losses that you're going to have. So you're going to see what your profit is and where you're going to lose it, and hopefully they balance. And like I say, when we talk about the break-even calculation, that's a biggie. So I don't expect you to lay that out in an Excel spreadsheet, but I do expect you to give me concepts. I have this amount of cash. This is what I'm going to do with that cash. This is how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to market. X number of dollars goes into my marketing plan. When we get to that point, I have some from a home health agency that I managed, some of and how it breaks down. X, the net revenue is at the top, and then by the time you get to the bottom, your EBITDA, which is your earnings before taxes and so forth, all that's at the bottom, and that has a certain percentage. What percentage do you expect to earn your first year? So those are the things that we're going to talk through. And appendices, I don't really need that, but if you have some things that you want to add to it, a lease, a contract, things that you want to add in, you can just build those into your paper, just like the template does. They give you some really nice forms to use. Like I say, you don't have to fill them all in, but you got to look at your rubric and see, you got to at least address certain things with some thought. I don't expect you to just go through and put little sentence down that makes no sense and doesn't relate. You won't get credit for those type of things. So put the effort in. Like I say, give me a call if you have a question. Maybe it's a way to word it. So these are the ideas that I have for you. To really do a plan, the next thing is to refine the plan. So once you develop this plan, your long-term goal is to keep going back and double checking and making sure your numbers match. If you're making more profit, why? If you're making more profit in one area, it could be that you've cut some staff, so your customer service failures may start showing up, and that's never a good thing. So understand, you want enough staff to make it work, but not to break the bank. But if you shortchange the gym down the street or the therapy center down the street, probably won't. So that's always a fine line, is how many and does it make sense? Am I keeping people productive? Okay. And if you look at this slide here, it's the measurement of employee productivity. That is a huge key. So as we move through this class, you'll learn these different things. The business plan, like I say, it's all worth 40%. It's actually, this has been revised to 20 and 20% for the written and the PowerPoint. It's due on 4/28, so get started early. Start talking to people, get some ideas, look at that template, download that, and start filling it out. You can go straight onto that form. I believe it's a Word doc. Yeah, it is a Word document, so you ought to be able to use that right away. The APA reference page, feel free to put one of those in the back. You can keep it single-spaced in the written plan, because I don't want it to be 30 pages long. It's already blank. It's already 15 or so pages long. So just fill in the blanks or redesign your own template, whatever you want to do. This is your business. You have to sell me. I am the banker. So you have to sell me on what I'm looking for, and I got to decide, am I going to give you money or not? because that's what it comes down to. Your presentation should last 20 to 30 minutes. It should be well designed. Present on one of the following groups. You're talking to investors, you're recruiting key employees, or maybe you're presenting at a national conference, your business, what separates you from other industries out there, or other businesses in the industry that are out there. So I want you to, if we are live back on campus, dress professionally. I don't expect suits and ties, or I do expect ties, but I don't expect suits. Dress professionally, be prepared. We're going to talk about speaking clearly with force. Emphasize, you got to show that energy when you're presenting to the banker. You don't want to throw it on his desk and say, you read it. You want to talk about your plan. You got to know it inside and out. So when a student or myself, I might ask a question or two, believe it or not, but you got to know that plan. This is your plan. If you don't know the answers or how certain things work together, then I may not think you really are into it as much as you're just wanting the money to do something. So get positive, be enthusiastic, be under control, answer questions professionally, and remember, this is your business. So I look forward to getting started with you guys on this. I look forward to reading your papers, seeing your presentations, and I think when you get done, you'll have some great ideas where you can really open a business if you want to. So, like I say, thank you so much. Feel free to call me with any questions you may have. My information is on the syllabus, and we're going to move forward with this program over the next several weeks, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as I will enjoy presenting it. Thank you and have a great day.